Gotta squeeze in here. All right, so Mormon patriarchy is supported by the women. And the women of the Mormon Church. So let's take the ideal, like let's take the men and women who are actually sexually loyal, respect each other, really live the religion. The women support the men. Every bishop has a wife. Every mission president is married. But beyond that, there's a lot of women. I guess I could say most women in the church. They love the church. They really believe in Jesus. They really believe that this church helps them to overcome Satan and to be righteous and virtuous. And that's the interesting thing. I mean, no one's a worse patriarch than Satan. I mean, talk about a patriarch. I mean, Satan, what does Satan do? He wants you to lose your virginity. He wants you to be a whore. He wants you to be a gang member. Satan is the patriarch over everything unvirtuous. And this is the big picture. This is the big see, in Hollywood, it's like, oh, the patriarchy, this guy here, this guy there. I mean, maybe it's 5 guys total or 10, but it's like there's a lot of other satanic stuff going on in Hollywood. I mean, all the murder that they film, all the torturing of women, it's like, well, who's acting? Why are these women doing these acting jobs? Why are all of these movies like Game of Thrones, like, who are the women that are supporting Hollywood? There's so many women in Hollywood that are supporting the satanic patriarch. Lucifer, the patriarch. Because a patriarch, it's not just like a Christian religion thing. It's not just, I mean, there's a lot of Mormons who don't like the patriarchy in the Catholic Church. There's a lot of Mormons who used to be Catholics who joined the Mormon Church because they believe that the male leaders in the Mormon Church are sexually pure, that they're loyal to their wives. And I found that in my life that most church leaders, they want to be loyal to their wives, and I mean, like, that's what they want eternally, like that's what they want forever. Anyway, so so you got so much stuff going on here. It's like a whirlwind. It's like spiritual whirlwinds, that they talk about. And and you have scriptures in the Book of Mormon that talk about that. In fact, I should probably grab my Book of Mormon. But so for women, so you have the men in the Mormon Church who are working for the women. So like you have the bishop of a ward. So, it's your local church congregation. If he's doing his job right, he's working for everybody. Like, he's there on Sunday to make sure the meeting's all right. He's there to interview people. They do interviews for the temple and stuff. But the thing is like, if you have a problem spiritually, like if you have a sin or something wrong going on in your life, even financially, he's there to help. And it's a great patriarchy, but it's like, I mean, patriarchy in the Mormon church, like our prophet, the man who just became the leader of our church for maybe a short amount of time, maybe a long time. The last couple of years, he's been telling the men, you know, the most important thing in your life, the most important thing in your life is to take care of your wife. So people need to join the Mormon patriarchy. All the women in the world should join the Mormon church. They really should, especially if they believe in the Spirit, especially if they believe in Jesus. They should join the Mormon church, because the men in the Mormon church are here to support the women, to teach them about God, to help them financially. Well, not help them financially, but to be a help in any way, you know, whatever they need help with. And so now I want to talk about the overarching thing about overcoming patriarchy in a general cosmic sense. So in a cosmic sense, there are leaders. And it's true that God is a leader and he's a man. And that's and people could debate that, you know, maybe some people don't like that. Mormons believe that there is a man who is in charge of everything. That there is a man who has a spirit, like God is a man, and as a man, he is the leader. And if you want to go to heaven, you that's where he is. He's not a man like a secular man. He's all loving, he created the earth, he's all powerful, you know. So in a sense, the Mormon focus is on a man, on God. So what's my point there? My point is that as a man, he also chose a man to be in control of us, to be in control of our healing, to be in control of our resurrecting. He chose a man. But think about it. He called a man to be the greatest servant of the woman. He didn't call another woman. In other words, he set the example for all men. What's your job as a man? To be kind to a woman, to support her, to teach her. Because Jesus taught women about heaven and how to go to heaven. And oh man, I ate too much meat today. I ate meat today. I probably shouldn't eat meat. I should be a vegan as far as meat's concerned. Half vegan. So, you know, as a man, I've had sexism. You know, every man does to some degree. I think I've had it in worse degrees than other men. But as I'm going through my traumas and my trials and growing and learning, I'm learning that maybe it's okay to think I'm better than a woman, or maybe it's okay to think that it's better to be a man. Just, you know, I like being a male. but what that means is that it's my job to be a servant to my wife and to my mother and sisters. But it's okay. I think it's okay to think that the best thing to be is a man. And part of that is because you get to be married to a woman. So anyway, so Mormonism teaches to overcome one patriarchy through another. So through Jesus, through that patriarch, you overcome Satan, the other patriarch. In other words, Mormonism teaches that women can't escape patriarchy. It's a matter of which patriarch you choose. Now, there's a verse in the Book of Mormon that says there are only two churches: the Church of the Devil and the Church of God. Maybe it says the Church of Jesus specifically. But the American culture, the world culture, is so stupid that they're going to put forth this story that, there's only one patriarchy. It's been with us forever, since the beginning of time, and if we could just overcome that patriarchy, it's like, no. You can't escape patriarchy. Like, that's a myth. Men have influence in everything. What you want to escape is the wrong kind. You want to find the patriarchy. Mormonism has the ideal patriarchy. You look at the majority of bishops and leaders in the Mormon Church, and they're servants. They don't get paid. And they talk nicely to women, and they really say what needs to be said, and they listen to when they need to listen. And it's like, it's the ultimate ideal patriarchy. If you just say in general, down with patriarchy, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so how about down with matriarchy? It's almost like this whole thing that's been going on this year, it's almost like it's scripted. And I know that's insensitive to say, but it's like, oh, well, I was abused by Weinstein for so many years. I'm coming out now because everybody else is coming out. And it's like, okay, some of these stories, it's like, so you'll stand up for the truth. You'll stand up to an evil person when it's convenient. Oh, it's so convenient to come out now. I mean, I know I'm just saying sometimes that's what it's like. It's like, oh, it's convenient now. Yeah, he sexually harassed me. It's like, some of these are weird. Anyway. But people, to walk away from Jesus during this time, to say, well, I'm walking away from Jesus because I'm walking away from churches because of the patriarchy. Well, that's fine, but don't walk away from Jesus. Jesus didn't like false religious people. He never has, he never will. This is the perfect time for people to learn about the Mormon Church, to learn about the patriarchy. A patriarch like Abraham, who wanted to be married, who wanted to have children, who wanted to have peace and wanted to be a good neighbor and help anybody. From what I've heard, he wanted to help anybody. A man like Joseph Smith, a man like Brigham Young, But anyway,